Hello, everyone. I'm Mitchell Ryan Darcy, and today I'm about to go see First Man in IMAX. I'm really excited because first of all, you got the director who did La La Land, and you got the main star of La La Land, Ryan Gosling. I loved La La Land, but this is going to be a drastically different film, and I know that going into it. I just thought it was very weird that after the La La Land, I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see what he does next. And then he announced, oh, I'm doing a biopic about the first man on the moon. And I'm like, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. But anyways, I'm super excited because from what I've heard, it's a dazzling movie. And the only trailer I've seen is the little 5 minute or 4 minute or really short preview scene from the movie. And from what I saw, it was him getting into the shuttle and then getting prepared to launch. And I just thought, I'm like, okay, so this is what they're going for. They're going for maybe a realistic 60s. And it's just, I guess it's a bit of a spectacle because it's like, if you think about it, 1960s, no one's ever done this before. No one's ever landed on the moon and came back. So it's like, what is it like to be them in that point of time, going into space, going into where farther than anyone's ever gone before, sort of thing. And it's like, it's very and you can feel the tenseness, like the whole thing shaking, like you feel like the thing's gonna fall apart. This is 1960s technology, like so I'm kind of excited to see how well the movie works and what the director accomplished with it. I'm just wondering if there's going to be a bit of an influence from Christopher Nolan with Interstellar and Stanley Kubrick's 2001: Space Odyssey, or is he going to try and do his own thing with it? Because it is a biopic, so it's like, is he going to dramatize things? I know there's a whole controversy about them not showing the flag planting scene, which I was shocked when that came out because I'm like, my first thought with the First Man movie is you're gonna have the flag planting scene. Like, that's like having a movie about the life and death of Lincoln, uh, and Abraham Lincoln, and not showing him getting killed, because that was a major part of his, like, the end of his life. Like, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like an important beat, but I do praise it for not showing the scene, but I'm wondering how they got around not showing the scene, because does it feel like they missed the scene? Because, well, I'm not that familiar. Well, that's why I like based on true stories and biopics, is that you get to see a side that you didn't see before. So, like, I'm not totally familiar. I just know Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and someone else, they went up. One stayed in the space shuttle. Two of them went down. And then they came back home, planted the flag, did the little plaque, and that's it. So it's like, I'm very interested to see the movie. So I'm super excited. I wonder, is there going to be a really cool score with it? Is it going to be edited back and forth, sort of like maybe the start of the movie is him going into the space shuttle, and then while traveling to the moon, you get flashbacks to just before he was on the mission and all that, and his life as he's going up there? Or, like, I want to know the structure of the film. I'm super excited. So, and apparently the last bit of the movie is filmed in IMAX, so I assume that's when he's on the moon. But I could be mistaken. I don't know. I want to see this effect of going through a whole movie as if it was normal, and then the last bit just being full IMAX. Like, so, time to watch First Man in IMAX. I just watched a movie called First Man, and my gosh, it is definitely an experience. My gosh, I've never experienced a such a such an interesting biopic, in the sense of, like, the way, like, that was like action, but also like suspense, like the space scenes paced out through the like. It was a really good, well done, excellently well done a biopic. Absolutely, like the director Damien Chazelle, he knocked it out of the park. He handled it very well, and I will say Ryan Gosling definitely will probably be nominated for this role. Definitely, at the very least, he did an like the cast in general did an amazing job. But like the thing I want to praise most about the movie is probably just the sets. Like it's so the way it's set up, the way it is filmed, everything felt so real. Like almost like the way it was shot, most of it was like when it came to like the life section of it and family and friends and all that, it almost went like tree of life type footage in certain places, but most of it was like more close up and all that. There was very rare long bigger shots, like wider shots and all that, and it helped made the sets feel just it just felt down to earth. The earth sections felt down to earth, like like, and even the sections where they're in space in the tiny console and or the capsule, like the small crafts and all that, it's like it felt so real, and it actually felt like you were in there, like you like when stuff goes wrong and you feel almost a little bit helpless out there in space, like you feel like you're in that situation, like what would you do in that situation, like jeez. The IMAX portion of the film, a little bit disappointed, but at the same time, I did also really like it because it didn't. It stood out because how they filmed with the IMAX is they used it for the entire moon when they're on the moon, and the shot where it transitions from the normal film with the bars to full IMAX, and it is such a it's such a dramatic shot. It's kind of hard to miss because I was always picturing because in certain films they have that really cool transition between normal to IMAX, and another one just recently, Mission Impossible Fallout had that transition for the airplane scene when it went from they're in the cabin to he's about to jump. Like it was such a cool transition shot. I felt, um, like you can see it actually got wider subtly. Where in this one, I think it did the same thing, but it was like, wow, sound effects and all that, like so real and uh, like I'm trying to figure, like I assume because well they didn't film on the moon, I assume that that's studio recreated, but it is done so well. So it's just the IMAX scenes is like it just shows how empty the moon is. Like it's so cool being there, but at the same time it's like it's just a rock.
It's a rock! A rock! A rock!
It's just a rock in the middle of space, and it's like it just makes you think, and it's so well done, and the choice of music and when to do it, and the original score soundtrack, which is done by the same guy who did La La Land. I mean, coincidence, it's directed by the same guy who did La La Land, and it's starring the same guy from La La Land. So having the guy who did the original score for La La Land did the score for this movie, and he did something so unique because the music felt happy, like it felt happy but ominous happy, like it's not like absolute carefree happiness, but it's like a serious upbeat but dramatic as well. Like it's so hard to explain. Like it felt like at first I thought it was a little odd, but then by the end of it, especially the song as they're approaching the moon, like I kind of want to see the film again, just to listen to that score again. Like, it's just such a great song. Such a great music. What I will say is the American flag thing didn't really bother me because, well, I mean, I am Canadian, okay, so I'm not, like, for example, if Canada was the first people on the moon, and I wouldn't have had a big stink about them not showing the planting of the flag. Like, but I am not American, so I can't really say in that sense of pride of like what it feels like to not see them plant the flag. But I felt the flag, you didn't need to, because it showed it in the shot, in a couple of shots you actually see the flag there. So they didn't show the planting per se, but it was there. They didn't erase it from history. They just, it was there. And you see American flags throughout the film. There's a part where a kid raises a flag on a porch of the house, and there's another one where you clearly see the American flag on the space shuttle. Like, it's accurate. Just because I always thought it was weird when the controversy started. It was like, hey, they didn't show the flag getting planted. And I was like, why didn't they show the flag being planted? Like, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, if you're doing a movie about Neil Armstrong being on the moon, you gotta show the planting of the flag and the plaque. I think I remember there's a plaque they put on the moon. That, I think, probably got totally overlooked, because it's kind of hard to see a plaque on the ground when it's a really far shot of the flag. But yeah, it didn't bother me, because here's the thing. The name of the movie is called First Man. Okay, it's not called First American Man. Yes, it was an American who landed on the moon first, like stepped on the moon and all that. Yes, the U.S. was the company, NASA and all that, but it's more of a celebration of the world, in the sense that humans was able to accomplish this. Specifically, the American Neil Young. Did I just say Neil Young for his name? God damn it. Neil Armstrong, just because they didn't erase the flag. They didn't, they didn't not mention America. Like, the whole movie, you can tell for the most part, like, it's America. So to me, the whole flag not being shown is a choice, and I thought in this movie it was a pretty good choice, because the planting of the flag wasn't the most important thing about First Man. It was us humans being able to accomplish this. And I think it's something that sort of overshoots the controversy, overshoots like what the point of the film was. Like, the whole first 2/3 of the movie is like all the struggles and failures and everything leading up to that moment. And it's like and then the whole part on the moon, it's like, what is it for and all that. Like, it makes you think, and it's like, was it worth it? And at the same time, it's like, it was, and it's like, it makes you think, it makes you talk about it, and then it's like everyone ignores that and just complains about the blame. I want to know what you thought of First Man. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I want you to have a nice day or night or whatever time you watch this. Have a nice whatever. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it.